back. It's Local Edition. I'm Brad Palmer. Thanks for joining us. Our guest today, Anthony Portantino, member of the California State Assembly. We've been speaking throughout the year about transparency in Sacramento as a result of some votes that you made against Democratic leadership. They retaliated, and you decided that you wanted to fight back, and you called for the release of the budgets of the California State Assembly. The LA Times, the Sacramento Bee supported you. Lawsuit was brought. You won.
Well, the lawsuit, the judge's decision, my favorite line in the judge's decision, he says, "Let me understand this correctly, Assembly leaders. You're arguing for a narrow definition of the word open. You know, open the books. The public has a fundamental right to see how its money's being spent, and the judge threw the book at them for not releasing.
Literally. He has ordered the Speaker of the Assembly, the members of the legislature, to release their budgets.
Right, and that's a big win for democracy.
So where do we stand? Because I can't imagine that the leadership in either house is going to run to open their books. Right. I mean, I think about recently the Los Angeles Times ran an article that talked about some legal settlements with some members of the legislature and some not so nice things being done between staff and elected.
Well, there's a lot of secrets in Sacramento, and frankly, we got to get them all out on the table. I mean, and this is a big step because the judge said your exemptions don't hold muster. The public has a fundamental right, in particular when we're talking about finances. So, a couple things. Number one, going backwards, all of what they have been doing has been discredited. I mean, they've been cooking the books for years. That got discredited through a lot of good reporting and the students at Stanford University that compared the payroll records to the bogus documents. So they've been discredited, they've been harmed. Now, if they're smart, they would embrace going forward complete transparency. Thus far, they're still talking about what they're going to do.
Speaking of transparency, I've spoken with many members, Democrats and Republicans. They've expressed tremendous frustration by how, and it's most often at the end of the budget cycle, a bill is dropped on them at 2 in the morning, and they're to vote on it by 9 o'clock the next morning.
Or sometimes in 15 minutes.
So it can be even more draconian.
Absolutely. Sometimes we're asked to vote on things without even having the bill in our hand.
And these are Democrats and Republicans.
Absolutely. No, it's an outrage.
And so talk to me about what you're doing to try to change that. I know Republican Kevin Jeffries has been looking at it, now Democrat Anthony Portantino.
Yeah, and also Republican Mike Morell has a bill to put bills in print for at least 72. I support those efforts 100%. One of the reasons why I didn't support a couple of the budget triggers this year was for that very reason. They just landed on our desk. They weren't vetted. The prison realignment plan had never had a public hearing. We got to stop that and do the people's business in public and get things done. This judge's decision sends a message to the leaders. They better get their act together.
But how would you respond to those that would say that, look, we have a constitutional deadline to pass a budget, and sometimes negotiations go to the 11th hour, and we may need less than 72 hours. Should the deadline be 72 hours before the deadline as a result?
No, the reality of it is the public wants us to make good decisions. It's not whether we do it on a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Friday. The good policy should take center stage, and that was the argument I made this year. The deadline is only germane to whether we get paid. It's more important that we get the budget right than whether we get our paycheck, and I made that argument to no avail, and I supported the comptroller when he cut our pay. That's what the public wants. This decision starts the sunshine. I think we have a benchmark now where they can't use the economic blackmail against members.
Let me ask you in our final moments about the 72-hour bill. You got to get that bill into a committee, and the leadership controls the committees. Can you get the bill into a committee?
Oh, I think so. I think right now the public has such an appetite to change the system. And, you know, frankly, I've got a year left, and I'm going to be an agent for change with every single breath I can take up there. And if it makes waves, so be it.
His name is Anthony Portantino, member of the California State Assembly. I'm Brad Palmer. Thank you so much for joining us on Local Edition. Back to HLN.